Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and I'm so happy to have on this program one of the real leaders of our community, our spiritual community in New York, Sharon Gannon from Jivamukti Yoga. You have made yoga a household name, at least in New York, and I think so. I think you and David Life have put yoga on the map in a way that people weren't aware of the benefits of yoga before you came forward with Jivamukti. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. We're actually going to talk about a cookbook that Sharon has written called Simple Recipes for Joy, 200 delicious vegan recipes. What made you choose these particular recipes? I mean, why? What do you like? I'm just,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to admit,
Yes.
I was really stupid, quite naive when it came to writing cookbooks. I didn't know until after this cookbook was finished that most people who write cookbooks don't make up their own recipes.
Oh.
They gather recipes and maybe tweak them a bit. I thought that would be cheating.
I think so.
Well, but I don't know. I think it's good to do, but I wish I would have done that. It would have saved me a lot of time.
So you actually made 200 recipes.
Yeah. So I had to, I'd go trial and error by scratch. Like if I wanted to do the pumpkin pie, pumpkin pie, you need a crust. So trial and error, just like flour, water, and a lot of things went into the compost.
No eggs.
Of course, no eggs.
Well, I know, but I guess people don't understand. They think
vegan means no animal products.
At all. No honey?
No honey, no eggs, no milk, no cheese, no.
No, but so.
Yeah.
And so I know
no whale blubber, none of that.
This is something
none
you're
of that juicy stuff.
really passionate about. And
Yes.
so what was your experience actually in making these things? I mean, were there things that you thought you liked that you didn't like?
No. I started cooking. I would cook, I'd make a dinner party, and then if it tasted good and everybody else voted who came to the party that, hey, that was good, I wrote it down. And so I just amassed these recipes. I saved them. And then I made just a little, printout book for myself from the computer and would give it to friends, now and then who were interested. And then just to kind of tidy up all the stuff in my office, I decided, hey, let's really put this together with some pictures and make a nice little book. And I was going to publish it myself, but then I had a friend who's an agent who took it around for me and got a lot of rejections.
Well, that's normal, I guess.
Yeah, of course, yeah. No problem. I was like, fine, I'm going to do it anyway. And then one day last year, I got a call from a lovely, lovely, amazing woman from Penguin, Penguin Publishing House. And she said, are you Sharon Gannon? I said, yes. She said, I heard you have a cookbook. I think we might be interested. Would you come into the office and talk about it? That was how it happened.
Great. It is a beautifully made book. It's quite a lovely production. There's some pictures of you, a little intro.
There's a lot of, there's stuff in there about how to bless your food, how to offer your food to God, which I don't think you're going to find in most vegan cookbooks.
Right.
There's stuff about the cafe, the Jivamukti Cafe. All the recipes from the cafe are in this book.
Oh.
And plus, a whole lot more.
The cleansing diet.
There's 2 cleansing diets.
Talk about that, because, it's hard to make a really delicious recipe as for a cleansing diet, or is it? I mean, what goes into a cleansing diet in these particular recipes? Usually it's just like Master Cleanser or something, it's just like...
Yeah, Master Cleanser, I think that is too... I've gone on the Master Cleanse. Most everyone our age has, but at one point... but the Master Cleanse is really restrictive, and basically you're drinking sugar water.
And cayenne.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's in your cleansing?
Well, there's 2 different cleansing diets. One is basically porridge, like oatmeal and then khichdi. And the second one is more just a raw food. like salads and soups and juices.
Do you bring in some of the Ayurvedic, khichdi is sort of an Ayurvedic technique for cleansing.
It is.
Do you bring a lot
You know your stuff,
I
don't
do
you?
know,
Yeah,
I've
you
been
do.
around.
Yeah.
But do you bring a lot of that into these recipes? I mean, what style?
The recipes
Yeah.
in this book are things I like to eat. Basically, that's like Jivamukti Yoga. Jivamukti Yoga comes from things I did myself, you know, and like playing music in class and the asana sequences and all of that.
What do you think made Jivamukti so successful?
God.
God? I
Of course, God does everything.
No,
I
but
mean,
there's a lot of yoga schools out there that weren't as successful as Jivamukti. It just took off. I mean, you're in your fourth place. I remember even when you were back, well, you were there before 2nd Avenue or someplace else, but I remember
Yeah,
that.
2 other places.
I remember I got in on 2nd Avenue.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
And then you moved down to Lafayette, and then you have your
Yeah.
place you're in now. But
Yeah.
it kept growing. What were you doing to, just because you were passionate about yoga?
You know, it's the community. Jivamukti exists because the community of New Yorkers made it happen and kept coming. I mean, come on, it wouldn't it wouldn't be around if people didn't want to come to it.
Right.
We don't go in and
But you brought
pull
a
people off the street and force them to stand on their
but
heads.
you brought a quality, I think, of intentional spirituality to the yoga. That's what I find.
Well, like I said, that was what I was interested in. So that's what I offered. I didn't change
Yeah.
just because people wanted to learn yoga from David and myself. We didn't change what we were doing ourselves. And I didn't underestimate people, I suppose. I didn't feel I had to dumb it down for dumb people. I don't really know any dumb people, to tell you the truth.
And if you did, you wouldn't want to know them.
I mean, everyone I've ever met in my life is smart, interested, passionate about their lives, about the world, and I mean, I'm so fortunate to be able to have been with these people
And contributed to their, health and
I think we did it together.
Yeah.
We did it together.
You and the community.
We did it together. I mean, certainly, this is not just my idea imposed. Like I said, the community, they supported it, I suppose. Yeah.
But they were looking. I mean, you sort of came in at the right time when there was a spiritual hunger. I mean, there still is, but you provided a space for those seeking.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, yoga is a body, mind, spirit discipline in a sense.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and is
Right. What do you know about it?
What do I know about it? I could know more. You could teach me.
Read the book.
I'll read the book, but was this a yoga of sorts?
Of course, food is I mean, look, the physical practice of yoga certainly addresses the food body called the Anandamayi kosha, and that's made of the food you eat. Your physical body is made of the food you eat. So that food should be obtained compassionately, and no murder and slavery and torture and sex abuse involved.
Okay.
And that means vegan.
But do you fry stuff? I mean, is there frying, sauteed?
Sure.
And, do you believe in raw food diets as a strict thing? I'm just
Do
curious.
I believe in it?
Or do you believe it?
It does
you recommend
happen.
it?
People do eat raw food.
But
I believe that they do.
Would you recommend it, though?
I recommend things that work for me because that's what I know
Does
best.
that work for you?
No,
It doesn't.
I like hot things. I mean, I eat lots of raw things.
That's how I
But
feel.
I don't eat exclusively raw food. No.
Right. It doesn't work for me. It's exclusive raw food. It was quite a craze, quite a fad for a long time. But
were you ever one to fall for fads?
I wasn't.
No, me neither.
But there are a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I'm 100% raw. I'm 90% raw." But I need warm things in the winter.
Yeah. Well, I think we have to figure out what we need, and that's a good thing to do, to be that intuitive and be able to listen to what you need. Sure.
Yeah. So, who have been some of your big influences in your life? I mean, as far as teachers and spiritual teachers and yogis, and I'm just curious where you've come from, your lineage, in a sense, what's worked for you.
I was blessed with some really great enlightened beings who blessed me, who loved me, who guided me, and without their presence in my life would be very dark indeed.
Oh,
So, would you like to know about them?
I would like to, because
Shri Brahmananda Sarasvati.
Was a living master.
Yes.
In India, New York.
Indian, but I met him in New York. He started an ashram called Ananda Ashram in Monroe, upstate New York.
Yeah. Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he also had the Yoga Society of New York here in Manhattan.
He was a Sanskrit scholar, wasn't he?
Sanskrit scholar. So he instilled in David and myself a love and a discipline for the study of Sanskrit, and also Nada Yoga. He was really into Nada Yoga.
Was that sort of your awakening of consciousness, or did it happen before you met him?
Before I met him physically, yeah.
But you were sensing him, and then
Yes.
and meeting him sort of opened the door.
When I met him, and I didn't meet him until the early 1990s, it was like, oh, yes, I know you. We're connected. It was a sense of relief. Then there was Swami Nirmalananda. And Swami Nirmalananda lived in the BR Hills. That's in South BR Hills in South India.
Okay.
Between Mysore and Bangalore.
Okay.
In a wild forest sanctuary by himself in a small ashram, a one-man ashram. And I learned about him because I used to be a member of the Libertarian Book Club in New York City when in my anarchist days.
Right, you were an anarchist, performing artist, singer, performer, all that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still an anarchist.
Okay.
But a little bit different take on anarchy through the blessing of Swami Nirmalananda, who called himself an anarchist Swami. So he started to write to the Libertarian Book Club asking for pen pals. And Peter Lamborn Wilson, who was my friend, said, you know, Sharon, I don't have the time to write to this Swami, and none of us do. Maybe this is something that you'd like to do. So we became pen pals, Swami Nirmalananda and myself. And then when David and I went to India for the first time, in 1986, I think, we went, and one of the objectives of that meeting was to meet Swami Nirmalananda. And so he taught me that anarchy, true anarchy, means self-rule, but self with a capital S, divine self, not ego self. So that turned my whole trip around. And he was an animal rights activist. He was a vegan. He was an Indian man. This is like unheard of. I had never heard about this before. And you know, an Indian man way in the middle of nowhere with many Indian devotees being a vegan for ethical reasons. Because of the way the animals are treated, he wouldn't even take milk products.
But a lot of Indians are vegetarians.
Vegetarians, yes.
But they're not vegans necessarily.
Yeah.
And he was, because why?
The cruelty towards cows and.
Towards cows, because people in India think the milk of the cows is the blessing of the cows.
Yes.
And that's not something he agreed with.
No, he didn't.
Why is that? Is it cruel to take milk from a cow?
Yes. Well, if you think slavery is cruel, if you think
we're enslaving
sexual abuse is cruel, you know, cows are sexually abused.
They are sexually abused? Because we're robbing the milk from the young?
They're raped.
For their milk? Well, they're killed.
To make them pregnant.
Yeah,
a cow gives milk either because she's pregnant or because she just had a baby and she's lactating. So most cows that are milked in the world today are not allowed to be with the boyfriend of their choice.
It's an arranged
they are
marriage
artificially, truly arranged, artificially inseminated through a human being who takes a plunger. You know,
I see.
That's rape.
I see. So that's the and the
ugly.
cows suffer. So, is there a big movement for veganism in India, or is it just you?
No. I mean, I've made a lot of friends, Indian friends, and it's happening. It's happening.
What about honey? I guess we're robbing the hive.
The poor bees, they work so hard. It takes so much to produce that honey, and then we go ahead and take it and then give them sugar water. Yeah. I mean, okay, the yoga teaches that whatever you want in life, you can have if you make it happen for someone else. And if you want to be happy, don't make others unhappy. If you want to be free, don't enslave others.
In all your actions, though. Not,
in all your
You
actions.
have to be accountable for everything.
So, you do your best. I mean, yoga gives ahimsa and satya and ashteya and brahmacharya and parigraha as practices. That's good news, because that implies you don't have to be perfect. You just do your best.
What do you mean you don't have to be perfect? What can you do that you can get away
with?
I'm kidding.
For instance, ahimsa means nonviolence, right, or non-harming. So none of us can be truly perfect in that, because
we
just
step
by
on
living,
an ant.
Wearing clothes, I mean, cotton clothes, that the harvesting of the cotton it causes some harm. So you can be humble about it and just do your best. And being a vegan is really, it causes the least amount of harm. That's all.
So that's what the practice is. Being in the world, the yoga practice, do your best and cause the least amount of harm. And uplift people.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think the two things to cultivate, in order to cultivate devotion for God or getting closer to God, is one, remember God, and two, be kind to others. Be kind to others.
Were you connected to any of the female swamis?
Do you want to hear about? Yes. I have two other really important teachers.
I do want to hear about that.
Female teachers, Anandamayi Ma.
Oh, I love.
Yes.
You actually remind me a little bit of Anandamayi Ma.
No. I mean, that is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
Did you meet her though? She was not alive.
I did not. Well, she was. She died in 1984, right? So
did.
we could have met her, but I did not. But I wish I had been more forthcoming and more courageous to go to India earlier, but that my karmas weren't good enough.
My favorite part of Autobiography of a Yogi, where Yogananda meets, he meets her, and
Me too.
She says, "I was the same when I was born. I was the same when I was married. I am the same now. I've always been the same."
Alan, you have a great memory.
Yeah. Well, that was a part that was out of that whole 400- or 500-page book. It was that.
I agree. That's what I remember too out of that book.
Yes, that's
really.
Fun. Well, she's a presence. She is. I mean, you just look at her face, and she would go into bliss, and you can, feel that Shakti coming off her pictures still.
Yes, I surround myself with her pictures. I love to look at her.
Yeah, and I know her samadhi is in Hardwar, and I was there during one of the Kumbh Melas, sitting at her samadhi.
I visited a few of her ashrams. The one in Vrindavan, where her bed is there, and I remember going there and laying my head down on that bed and feeling her presence, feeling, electricity. Wow, it's very powerful.
I felt that in Shirdi with Shirdi Baba. I went to. Have you been to Shirdi?
No.
Oh, he will talk to you. You go to his samadhi, you put your head there, and it's like, hello, he's talking.
Yes.
So there's some amazing saints there. And she's beautiful, thank you. But who else was your,
Shri Pattabhi Jois.
Oh, Pattabhi Jois.
Yes.
The yogi. I mean,
the enlightened master, yes.
What was he like?
Kind, spicy, fun, no nonsense, beautiful, sly like a fox.
Really?
Oh yeah, very clever.
Did you have a lot of interactions with him?
Yeah. I spent many years with him. Yes.
What was special about his yoga that you liked? His particular style. What did you like about that?
His hands touching me, adjusting me, assisting me, putting me into asanas, believing in me. He was an astrologer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He came from a family of astrologers. So when he first met anyone who wanted to study with him, he would ask, "What is your birthday?" And then he would do your chart. And he would determine a lot, I think, from that. And so for some reason, praise all glories to Sri Krishna, he liked me and David, and so we were very blessed.
And
very
so
blessed.
that blessed your school in a sense. You carried some of that teachings into...
All three of those gurus.
Yeah.
All three of those gurus are still very active. And then the fourth one, Shri Shamdas Ji.
Oh, Shamdas.
Yeah, Shamdas.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful, important teacher and guru to the Jivamukti method.
And a beautiful person. I know. I spent just a little time with him.
Yeah.
He was an American. He was one of us, right? And devoted his life.
Yes. And, I think the saying, you can tell someone who's very spiritually evolved by their cheerfulness, their sense of joy.
Yeah.
And he certainly had that.
Yeah, all
Certainly
the
had that.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But people consider you a teacher. I mean, as a not followers. I don't know. Do you have followers? But people do. They look up to you. And what do you feel about that?
I try to do my best
And
with my job. I try to do my job.
Which is to serve people.
To serve people, yeah. I'm a spiritual teacher, yes.
But that's a huge. I mean, some people. It's a responsibility. I mean, it's like.
Yes, it is.
It's not what some people say. It's like not an ego thing. It's like you are there for these people.
Yes.
That's a hard thing. I mean, to be in a sense,
Well, you just have to give up everything else. But I mean, that was not so hard for me.
So
at the beginning, yes. At the beginning, I did reject it. I didn't want to be a teacher. Yeah.
Well, look at Amachi. She just has given everything up to hug people. To love people, and so this food book is another way you're serving people.
Yeah, I hope so.
No,
I
it
hope
is.
so.
And you're enjoying yourself though too. It doesn't mean you don't have to enjoy yourself.
No, I mean, yoga's about happiness, joy. Come on. If you're not like, okay, the great yogi, Catholic saint, Saint Catherine of Siena said, right, that all the way to heaven has got to be heaven, or you might be on the wrong path.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is
so there's got to
funny.
be a little bit of joy in every step of the way, or where are you going?
Well, what do you want for yourself? What is your ultimate vision for you or the world or you and the world or you? I'm just curious.
Get close to God. That's what I've always wanted.
But you're already close. Maybe.
It's a
process.
No, it's ongoing. It's beautiful. It's being with you. That's beautiful. Doing everything is. Look at all the good things you're doing.
Yeah. Well, this is my service, and it's what I enjoy, and I like talking to people. I like
giving people a microphone. I mean, look, that's the greatest gift. I mean.
Yeah, giving people a voice to be heard.
Giving people a voice. Yeah. So I'm trying to give animals a voice.
Yes.
With my animal rights message, because I'm a yogi, so I really believe in moksha, liberation, freedom, and slavery. I don't go for
on any level.
No.
Not for animals, not for
No.
humans,
No.
not for.
No. So I'm an abolitionist.
Oh, I interviewed this little girl, 8 years old, who was fighting for against children's slavery. Do you know her, Vivian Hare?
No.
She started a lemonade stand where she raised $1 million.
Wow.
It caught on, and companies donated to her, and she raised $1 million to stop child slavery around the world. Amazing. We should bring her to New York and have her speak.
Where does she live?
She lives in California, but now her lemonade is worldwide. It is, and she's doing incredible things. That's a movie I should show you. So what's the vision that you have of Jivamukti, of liberation, for the planet? Where do you want to take us all? Not you, but where do you see is possible?
Okay. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that all we need to do is to act in remembrance of God, to perfect our actions, and a perfect action is a selfless action. So I'm just trying to be kind and remember God and let God do the rest. That's not my job to figure out the results.
So and God is what for you?
Shri Krishna.
And
All glories to Shri Krishna.
But what does Krishna represent as a
Love.
conscious? Pure love.
Love. Unconditional love. Satchit, mostly Ananda.
Bliss.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Sharon Gannon, Jivamukti Yoga, really one of the founders, her and David Life, you and David Life, and he's doing yoga still, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you're still teaching there. And that's 841 Broadway. This is Sharon's new book, which is Simple Recipes for Joy, because it's all about joy. More than 200 delicious vegan recipes. And the website, is there a website for the book?
Yes. It's www.simplerecipesforjoy.com.
And I'm Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. If you want to reach me, go to my website, newrealities.com, or email me at newrealities@earthlink.net. Thanks for watching, and see you at Jivamukti.